and welcome to the Mini Me Yoga podcast and YouTube channel. Well, it's Happy New Year to everybody. We have raced into 2023, and I am so excited to kick off the year with the wonderful Nicky from Full of Beans. And of course, she's a Mini Me Yoga ambassador. Hi, Nicky, how are you?
Hi, Kate. All good, thanks. Happy New Year.
I'm so glad that you decided to join us, and this is the first podcast of the year, because you are an expert in children's fitness and you've worked in children's fitness. I know it's one of your passions, and I know so you have such a lot to do with children's health and well-being, and New Year seems to be the time where everybody starts to think about fitness, don't they? And they think, oh, let's get fit and let's get healthy.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think the children do as well, because just having been in a school today and having done the warm-up and half of the children puffing on the side, I think they definitely feel the difference from having 2 weeks of really not doing an awful lot to getting back to it again. So definitely.
That's such a good point. So now I would like to ask, I know this might sound a silly question, but it's a question that's not asked a lot and people just assume and presume, but why is it important that children have physical education or have access to fitness? Why is that important?
I think there is quite a few reasons for that. And the first one is to keep their bodies healthy. And a lot of people just think of children's fitness as cardio. And it is that. It's making sure that children get at least 60 active minutes a day. So that can be throughout the day. It doesn't have to be in one chunk, like you and I may go to the gym for an hour and think, oh, we've done our activity for the day. It doesn't necessarily have to be like that with children. So it could be that they're running around the playground half an hour at lunchtime. They do an after school type swimming activity, for example, or they could be riding the bike. So it doesn't have to be in one chunk. But obviously that cardio exercise is overall good for their bodies, it's good for their muscles, it's good for the heart, it's great for their lungs, but they also need to include kind of strength building. So, and obviously I don't mean necessarily weights with this, it's like body weighted kind of fitness exercises, and that's good. It's good for their bones, it's good for their muscles, it's good for their overall health. So there's lots of elements to it, but the main reason for doing it with children, particularly as young as you can, is that they get used to it being part of everyday life. And if a child is active when they're young, they're much more likely to carry that into their adulthood and much more likely to be an active and healthy adult as a result of that. So for me, it's really important that children get involved at a very young age so that it becomes quite normal for them. And in doing that, I think we have to expose them to a lot of different types of activity and exercise, because they've got to enjoy what they do. So part of what we do at Full of Beans is helping children explore different type of things and activities and sports, etc., to find what they love, to find what floats their boat. And it's obviously different for everyone. Somebody may love football, somebody may love dancing, some may love karate, but particularly with young children, you've got to let them have a go at all these things for them to find what they love. But it doesn't necessarily have to be a sports club. There's so many other things that families can do with their children as well, outside of having to pay for them to go to something.
That's really important, just to pick up on a couple of points there, is because, studying, mental health and such, like one of the key things in any mental health, being well-rounded, is that we are active. And so that ties into that part. It's not just, sometimes I just feel it's not just the body and the muscles, which is really important, but actually really helps their mental health and well-being. And I noticed that as they get older, and like you say, if they've had that implemented at a younger age, they know, oh, I need to go and get out for a bike ride, or I need to go and clear my head and go for a run, or play football with my mates, or whatever. you know, so that's
it's really important. And we deliver wellbeing programs as well. But all our wellbeing programs are half kind of discussion and half exercise, and often at the same time, because it is so important, and many children won't know that necessarily until they feel the benefits of it. And I know we do that, don't we? Like, I'll say, oh, I don't really feel like going to the gym today, but you know, I know how good I'll feel afterwards. So it's helping children to experience that, and mental health and physical activity, as far as I'm concerned, and you know, our whole ethos is they have to go hand in hand.
Yeah. And I love the fact that you said you don't have to go to a paid club. Now we know that you know, some families are experiencing lots of different things right now, you know, across the board. And sometimes it's not easy to get children to clubs, or maybe can't afford it, or I mean, there's many different reasons why that might not be suitable. So could you give us some top tips? Could you give us some top tips of how to get children interested, first of all? Because I know that's a battle, isn't it, sometimes?
It can be, and I have loads actually. And my first one would be, and I know it's a topic at Mini Me Yoga that we talk a lot about, but it's about getting out in nature. And you can do that from any age, really, from even newborn. Can't you take, you know, you get yourself outside to enjoy the fresh air and the surroundings, and you'll go on a walk and you'll feel so much better. But it's doing that with your children. Go outside for a walk, just wrap up warm. And even a dog walk or a walk in the woods, you can make exciting for them. You can turn it into a treasure hunt. You know, you could help get them combine arts and craft and exercise. So before we go out, we're going to create a little list of things that we're going to find on our treasure hunt. Can you find something white and fluffy? Could be a feather. Can you find something spiky? Can you find a brown leaf? So they've been involved in creating this treasure hunt that you're all going to go on, and it's going to be so exciting, and they'll be so proud to find the things that they've added to their list. So even little things like, you know, turn a normal walk that they may go, oh, I don't want to go for a walk, it's boring. Think about how you can, you know, change that up a little bit.
I love that, Nicky, because the way we talk about this a lot, don't we, is that the way you present something to a child is key. I was thinking about Mary Poppins, you know, how she helps the children clean up the room. You know, into a game, and like, oh yeah, it's a game, let's clean it, you know, it's like that, you know, bring the magic into it. So I love that top tip, make it fun.
And the same going to, even like, you know, going to the park, do get involved in exercise with you know, your family, with your children. If they've got some monkey bars, they're a little bit older, let's have a challenge. Which rung can you get to, or how many times can you travel backwards and forwards? I'll see what I can do. What do you think I can do? So make it into a little family challenge and say, oh, next week I'm going to try and get to the 5th rung, or, you know, whatever it may be. So definitely family time, and also mirroring. I think, you know, we've talked about this before as well. So as adults, making sure that our children can see that our bodies and minds being healthy is important to us. So if they see us making that a priority, then that, you know, they're little sponges, aren't they? They'll take that in and they'll realize that that's important to the adults in my family, and I feel that I'm going to make that a priority. And also have them join in with you. You know, we've got many Mini Me Yoga ambassadors who have children, and when they're doing their yoga practice, they'll join in. My dogs do, actually, Kate, as well.
Okay.
So there's, you know, don't let having children be a barrier to what you do as well. Have them do it. Have a little yoga mat next to you. You can do it together.
I love that. I love that. Believe it or not, we're actually coming to the end of our time, but I have got some good news for everybody. Nicky has promised that she is going to be a monthly guest to share all of her knowledge, because we only covered a couple of points, and I just feel like there's so much more that we can help with. But I love those 2 top tips already. You know, is make it fun, and then you join in, you be the example. I mean, those are probably the 2 most powerful tips that, you know, anybody can start with this. Everybody can go on a walk, everybody can, you know, jump up and down at home, put some music on and have a dance together.
Totally love it.
So Nicky, we will see you next month.
Okay, fabulous. I've got loads of ideas to share.
So don't forget to tune in, everyone. Don't forget to tune in, and we will see you again very soon.
Okay, thanks, Kate. Bye, everyone.